Today on Gold is Where You Find It, we're going to do a little experiment and find out which is faster, panning or using a small stream sluice. So smash the like button and let's get to it. To make this a fair experiment, we're going to have to make sure that we run the exact same amount of material, sluicing and panning, time it, and see which one is fastest. So the Garrett Super Sluice holds a gallon of material. So we're going to demonstrate that right now. We're going to fill this up 5 times. I got an empty 5-gallon bucket. So you fill that up 5 times, the bucket's filled to the top. So we're going to start off and do 5 pans with the Super Sluice and see how long it takes. Alright, we're getting ready to start the timer here, and to make it fair, we're not even going to check the results of each pan. We're just going to pan through 5 pans and dump the cons in a bucket just like we'd be doing if we were sluicing. So let's go ahead. We got our classifier here. We're going to classify both of them down to a 1/2 inch. Once again, to make it fair. And we're going to go ahead and start the timer right about now. And for a fair comparison, this is how much concentrate I ended up with after panning through a bucket. So we're also going to see how much concentrate I'm left with after sluicing a bucket. We're going to have to incorporate the time it takes to pull the mat as a fair comparison because, I mean, there's no mat to pull when you're panning. You're already done. Alright, the water's a little bit deep up here, but I think I got it handled. We got a bigger rock there to put front end of the sluice on, and then I put another rock there and put put my legs all the way up for the end of the sluice. And I think this is going to work out. My V is not quite in the middle, so I might adjust it a little bit, or I might not worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and fill up a bucket right now using the same classifier, so we have the same amount of material. We're going to start the timer here in a second and see if this is faster or not. Now, before I get started with the sluicing, my hypothesis is that it's actually faster to pan, because you're going to spend the same amount of time digging, the same amount of time classifying, but you can pan pretty quick with the Garrett Super Sluice. And after I fill up my bucket, I still have to scoop the material into the box and then pull the mat. So overall, I think panning can actually be faster than using a sluice box, but let's find out. Okay, there you have it. And my conclusion before I even look at the timer is when I get home, I'm going to review the footage and add up the totals, which I've already posted on the screen. But I'm going to go ahead and presume that it was actually faster to pan through a bucket than it was to sluice a bucket. So there's a lot of places where you go and they say, oh, there's no sluicing here, you can't sluice, casual only, when in all actuality, panning, you can move more material with a pan than you can with a, 6-inch sluice box. So yeah, that rule really doesn't make all that much sense for the areas that have it. It looks like I did end up with a little bit less cons from my Gold Hog sluice box. So there's that factor. But if you were using a sluice box with miner's moss, that wouldn't be the case. But I got the Gold Hog mat, which I mean, it's not even that big a difference in the amount of cons I got from sluicing compared to speed painting. So, but let's go ahead and classify all these cons down together and do a quick little cleanup and just see how we did. So I've been out here twice working around this boulder, and that's how far I've gotten. That only the top of the boulder was visible when I first started. So you can see how much I moved right there. So anyways, I was on season 1, episode 2 of America's Backyard Gold with Dave Turin. And, we spent some time chatting and got to hang out. We dug together. But he was telling me how they get like as much as 2 yards or more worth of concentrate. It's like 100 buckets sometimes, he said. And of course, they're getting hundreds of ounces. But they don't keep their cons. They run them once and then they chuck them. And so basically, he was saying that, they had a GPAA group that wanted to go back through their cons, and it took them a lot of man hours to run those cons again. They had their whole chapter out there working on it, and they ended up getting like 2 ounces from rerunning their cons. But Dave was like, it's still not worth it to us. Even though there's 2 ounces in it, the amount of time that they have to put, I mean, it sounds crazy, and maybe I'm off on the 2 ounces part, but it was something around that. It was a significant amount of gold, and this was when the prices were a little lower, that they didn't feel like it was worth their time to save their cons or run them twice even. Oh yeah, we got multiple pieces of gold here that are decent. All right, so we panned through all those cons and got them in this little snuffer bottle right here. So let's dump out our snuffer and then take a close look at what we got in our 2 buckets today here in Pennsylvania. And I'd say it's not too bad for glacial gold. Some people wouldn't think it's worth their time, but we're out here having fun. And so it's worth my time. Even if I get skunked, I'm still not mad at life. Okay. Dump out that water. Stand it back. And that's what we got in 2 buckets. Let's take a closer look. It's a little chunky. A little chunky for glacial gold anyways. But it ain't big by any stretch. Well, let's go in for a look. See what we got. And there we go. And there it is. Zoom in a little bit more. See if we can get a little count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and oh, that went out of focus real quick, didn't it? There any more down there? We'll just call it 35 colors. But I am not complaining, you guys. Look at the iron on that one. Some nice looking Pennsylvania gold right there. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. We learned something. I was already hypothesizing that it actually takes longer to use a small stream sluice than it does to production pan with the Garrett Super Sluice. So you can actually run more material faster if you know how to speed pan, and I'm pretty practiced at it, so that might not be the same case for most people. And sluicing, let's be honest, as the gunshot goes off in the background, sluicing's more fun. And for the average hobbyist that's just out there for some recreational, I'd have to say it's just as casual as panning. So any regulations or laws out there that say that you're going to do more damage somehow to the environment by using a small sluice box like that, I think those are just ridiculous regulations. So you be the judge. Let me know what you think in the comments. And once again, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's free to you, and it supports me a lot. So appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time as a car drives by. Peace.